Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 40 of the Think Like a Marketer show. Hey, I'm Randall Chestnut, and we talk about entrepreneurship, marketing, and innovative products and find out what could be useful for you, some resources. I interview different marketers, entrepreneurs, and see how their experience can help you. So today is no different. I'm going to be talking about the two questions that every business should be able to answer. And if they can't answer these two questions in the mind of a consumer, they will fail or struggle to stay in business. So let me, full disclaimer, I've had this problem myself on many occasions. I've started businesses that didn't work out or that I struggled for longer than I should because of these two questions, because I didn't create in the minds of the consumer the answers to the two questions that I'm going to tell you. But before I get to that, I want to say thanks to our sponsor at You Need a Show. YouNeedAShow.com works with people and helping them if they want to have a show, much like the show that you see here, on the resources, just training, emails, templates on how to create a show, how to get sponsors, how to get paid for having a show. Everything that you think you would need to get answered is over there at You Need a Show. Hey, I don't need to tell you that live streaming is on the rise. 2019, AgriPulse talked a lot about the trend that they see people who are either doing side hustles or trying to grow their business and their brand. And we're going to talk about that on here. They're using lives and they're using podcasts. A podcast is making a resurgence in the marketplace, mainly because you have the ability now to listen to it pretty much everywhere on voice activated devices, the Alexa, the Google, the Apple, all of these devices inside of your cars, on your phones, on your TVs. So there's still room. There's still, I was asked today, I was scared to create a show because I know that someone else is already doing that. Well, last I checked, Starbucks sells coffee, but so do a lot of other places, and they make a lot of money too. So don't let that worry you. So go over to YouNeedAShow.com. You can download their show starter kit. It has an email for announcing the show, 3 different templates for your show that if you need help on creating the format for your show, an appearance fee agreement or appearance fee waiver. You'll need that. If you have somebody on your show, you'll want them to waive over the rights for you so you can advertise it, and much, much more. It's totally free. Go over to YouNeedAShow.com. So we're going to start out with, oh my God, you've heard the song 99 Problems, and yeah, they ain't one. Everybody got problems. We all have problems. I mean, think about every day we wake up and think of the problems that we have. I'm out of shampoo. That was mine. I'm out of shampoo. Like, I need shampoo. Amazon could solve that for you. Flat tire, need an oil change, need a haircut. I mean, think about every day you are waking up with problems like we all do. Before I get a little bit deeper in here, hey, if you're watching this live, put in the comments number 1. And if you're watching it on the replay, just put a number 2 in there. That's helpful for me when we go back and we look at the insight on it, that we know who came on in the live and who was on the actual replay. So problems, there are plenty of problems. And we all want to end our day with having a problem solved. The major reason that businesses either fail or struggle to get off the ground, or they just struggle the whole life, and it just becomes a burden in a business, and that is they fail. This is what they fail. This is the one thing that they fail the most at. Number 1, they fail to promote their business, like market your business. They don't promote their business. That's the number 1 thing that most businesses don't do well. They don't promote their business. Marketing. I can't remember. John Dillinger was a famous bank robber in the 30s. They asked him, "Hey, why do you rob banks?" A reporter asked him, like, "Why do I rob banks?" Because that's where the money's at. That's why. So you got to say to yourself, where is the money in whatever business you do? Whether you cut hair, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, chiropractor, real estate agent, marketing expert, consultant, all of those people all of you solve problems. But how can you solve someone's problems if they do not know you exist? So the number one reason that most businesses fail or struggle is that they don't promote themselves. So some of the ways that you can promote yourself that are totally free is one of them is doing exactly what I'm doing. Get on. Always remember to give value first before you ask for anything. I mean, you can never lose in that scenario that if you give something of value from someone, even just a little bit of value, sometimes it's perceived value. It's not even something that's actually valuable. Like you gave them good advice. Like they said, hey, how do you do this? And it solved their problem. And they go, wow, that was awesome. I think I'm going to go use the rest of his whatever business is. Maybe somebody, you came in and you offered you a chiropractic services and you fixed a headache that they had. And then, wow. And then, well, the next time if they have a headache or they have something, they'll be more likely to use you. But you have to promote yourself. There's so many ways that you can do it nowadays that you can become your own media company. It's been democratized that you can have your own show like I do. You can have your own show too. You can have your own radio show or podcast, which is just an on-demand radio. Hey, Lee, we live in the on-demand world that people want to be able to watch what they want to watch when they want to watch it and go where they want to go when they want to go and be picked up when they want to be picked up. We live in the on-demand world. So that's no different for us either as business owners, that we have to create situations, contents, and things that they can do on demand. Radio, you can create a podcast show and talk about how you can help them solve a problem, right? Or you could create a show, help them solve a problem. You could help a reporter who has a problem. See, reporters in your city, in this city, if you're in Houston or whatever city you're in, every day they wake up with a problem that you could solve for them. And it would benefit you. You know what that problem is? They need a story. I mean, they can only talk about Donald Trump for so long. I mean, everybody's talking about him. So that story's played out, although they still do it. They need new, interesting. And when it's local, they really try to steer clear of that and they really try to make local stories. So why don't you make them solve their problem and tell them that you have a good story, whatever your story is. Everyone has a story. Sit down, decide on what area of your business that you feel like you are the most knowledgeable and the expert in, and come up with just 3 little points that you think would be interesting. Maybe you are in real estate, right? And you know everything about all the alternative gardens or alternative gardens, vocational gardens in the city of Houston, and that you work with fitness people who are that love living around where tracks and fitness and food and good food is, and you know where all these places are, and you know all about Houston. Well, you can write the places and say, hey, if you ever have a need for talking about interesting places to go, or you're looking for somebody to interview about place, write me. I mean, think about what you do, right? And submit it to all the local reporters. I mean, you can go on Twitter, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram and search these people. You can go to channel whatever in your city, all the channels, and search for those roving reporters, I think is what they call them, or those people who have to get up at dark 30 and come up with a story, and send them your information, and they can have them contact you for a story. Write a story for them. You'd be surprised how often they say yes. So that's the way you can promote your business. It's totally free. You can ask to be on other people's podcasts, other people's Facebook lives, and or write a blog for someone, or write an article for someone promoting or talking about a problem that you solve. There's so many ways, and all of those ways that I just named are free, other than your time, right? So the number one reason that most businesses fail or struggle, and I don't want you to be one of those people, is they don't promote themselves or they don't market. You have to be okay with doing that. If you don't want to be that person, someone else will. Look, think about whatever it is you do. Let's say you are a real estate agent. How many people right now have a problem that you could solve? How many of you think there are that need a home, need a place? Maybe they don't need a home. Maybe they need to buy a home. Maybe they need to lease a home or lease an apartment. Maybe they need to sell their home to move to another city. Think about all of the people on a daily basis that does that, and they don't know about you. I mean, think about it. If you solve a problem for someone and they need, like if you needed a haircut, right? I mean, and you cut hair, that's a problem that you could solve. And if those people know about you and they know that you cut hair, and then you explain to them why you're better than everybody else, you have a likelihood of getting those people to let you cut their hair. So that's the number one thing that you can do, is start promoting your business on a daily basis. Make that your sole mission, and marketing. Look, we have a gentleman in the White House that did that and proved it. He became a billionaire self-promoting himself. I don't think he ever even hired an agency. I think that he was pretending to be all these people. I mean, Gene Simmons, Kiss has been around for 50 years, and they play the same like 8 songs, and they sell out stadiums 50 years later, 40 years later, because they know how to market. Gene Simmons is an amazing marketer. If you don't know who Gene Simmons is, he's the bassist for a band called Kiss. And if you get a chance, go over and check out his book. I think it's called Me Inc. It's a really fascinating book that he talks about. I remember Gene Simmons was an immigrant. He came over, couldn't even speak English. He only spoke Hebrew, I believe. And he was raised by a single mom. So, it's such an amazing story. And he hands down says marketing is what made all of that happen. You gotta have drive, right? You have to have drive, right? So you're wondering, Randall, what are these 2 questions that will keep me from being one of these business owners who either struggle or fail to reach its full potential? There's only 2 questions that you need to answer in the minds of the consumers, inside of the mind of the consumer. That's just 2. It's just 2 questions. And if you can't answer those questions in the mind of the consumer, they will never use you, because they don't know what you do. They don't know what problem you're going to solve for them. So you have to be able to answer these 2 problems and these 2 questions in their minds. And the first question is, why should I buy this? Why should I buy this? Why should I buy whatever it is that they want? Whether it's coffee. I mean, you think about coffee, for example, right? So why should somebody buy coffee from Starbucks that costs 5 times as much? Why? I mean, I could go buy coffee over at the gas station for $1. But I insist on buying it from Starbucks because Starbucks solves a problem that has nothing to do with the coffee, but everything to do with selling coffee. And that was, they created a space. Schultz, Schultz, is it Charles? Whatever. Anyway, the founder of Starbucks, when he went over to Italy, he's seen how people just use coffee shops as a place to meet, an office away from office, a place to do business away from the office. And he said, wow, why don't we just take that to America and give people a place to socialize? Coffee being the crux of the socialization, having coffee. I mean, how many people say, hey, let's have coffee and chat? It's like, let's have wine and chat, right? So he took that premise and built Starbucks off of that premise of an office away from the office, a home away from the home, a place to do business that's not in the office and just chill. And he was able to sell $4 or $5 coffees for that very reason, right? So when you're thinking about what problem do you solve, you can sometimes think outside the box, right? What problem do you solve? You have to be able to answer that with 100% clarity in the minds of your consumer, and be very specific about the problem that you solve, right? There's an easy formula for you to do. Number 1, state the exact problem that you solve. If you're bald, if you struggle with it or embarrassed about being bald, call us. We get you your hair back. I mean, I don't know. If you're struggling with, and you don't go outside of the house because of your weight, call us. We can help. You see how it's very simple, but very specific about they're embarrassed. That's a feeling that someone may get. Are you embarrassed that you can't get your golf ball past the tees? Are you embarrassed that you hit your golf ball in the woods or in the lake every time that you hit the ball off the tee? These are feelings, and it's simple for someone to understand what it is that the problem that you are going to help them solve. So state the problem, remind them of the feeling that revolves around that problem, and then tell them how you can help them, solve that problem, and then tell them what to do next. I mean, that's a super simple formula, right? Number one, make sure you promote yourself. And when you're promoting yourself, make sure you're clear on the problem that you are actually going to solve for the consumer in their minds, and be 100% clear and very specific. I help recently mothers who recently gave birth to children lose weight fast. Right? That's super, that is very specific. You're helping them lose weight so that they can feel beautiful again, right? Like, that's the problem that you solve. And call me, or click here, or click download this, or get this, whatever that is. Tell them what you want them to do. Be clear, right? A confused mind will always say no. So if they don't know what to do, they're not going to do anything. Hey, look, let me tell you something. I've done all of these things more than once, more than I care to admit, right? So remember to answer this question in the mind. Why should I buy this, whatever this is? The next question, and look, it's easy. It's only 2 questions, right? The next one is, why should I buy it from you? Why should I buy it from you? Look, whatever problem it is that you solve, barring it being something very niche, like super, super niched in, there are a lot of other people who solve that exact same problem as you, right? So what you have to be able to do is differentiate why they should buy it from you. What makes you different? What makes you different than everyone else? You have to be different. I'm telling you, you have to be different. Look, if you're a real estate agent, right? I'll give you a good example. If you are a real estate agent, what makes that title company different than the other title company? They open title. You go to a beautiful office, you have an escrow, people are nice, they do all these things, and you close on, and they leave, and they take the picture. They all do that exact same thing, except for one, Patriot Title. I will send a shout out to them. They're doing a great job here in Houston. But you have to be different. And you say, well, I'll give it coffee. Think about this. When people were thinking about how can I be different? I sell coffee, right? I sell coffee. Well, Charles Schultz didn't think that they couldn't be different. You see how he took coffee and he made it different. He convinced everybody who were used to paying $1 for coffee to come to buy it from him for $4. He just differentiated. Sometimes it's just the experience. It's not necessarily the product itself. It's the experience. Think about water. I mean, when I was younger, I don't even remember. I don't think they had bottled water when I was younger. If they did, I don't remember. In the early 80s, when I was in high school. I can't remember if they did. Maybe they did. But think about bottled water. Like, how many different bottled waters? You've got like the Walmart water, which is super cheap. And then you've got the Fiji water and all these other fancy waters that are still water. But how are they convincing you to pay 5 times as much for water? What value are they telling? They're telling you because it came from the Fiji, mountain-fed springs that have these natural minerals and all this other stuff. They built value in it and tried to differentiate themselves. And they made a bottle that looked kind of cool to look at. Evian, it came from the French Alps. Like, do we really know if the water comes from the French Alps, if it's any better for you? I mean, I don't know. Is it? I mean, last I thought that all water came from rain. So eventually it's going to fall in the Alps and become water, but it's also going to fall in Lake Conroe here. So I don't know, but figure out a way that you can make yourself different than everybody else. And sometimes it's just giving them a different experience. It doesn't have to be that you give them something extra or that it's the different color or different whatever. It's just the experience. Like somebody comes in your office and you give them this experience that they've never had in whatever that is, whatever it is that is. But you're gonna have to be different, because if you're trying to compete with other people there's other people out there that solve the problem that you solve too. So it's just a race to who can convince that person with the problem to use them first. And usually it's the person who promotes themselves, who's clear about that they solved that problem for them. And then they did an okay job showing how why they should pick them and what makes them different. Is this stuff making sense? Hey, Danny, hey, thanks for coming on. Sharon, thanks for the number one. Hey, if you are a new viewer, this is the first time you've ever watched the show. If you're not following me already, go over to the Think Like a Marketer page, click the follow button. They got a little notification there. If you want to get notified whenever I bring on other guests, it's for the show, or if you have a show topic, or hey, how about this? If you would like to be a guest on the show, if you're listening on the podcast and you think that you would be a good fit for the show, I mean, why wouldn't you want to come on the show and promote yourself? I mean, look, let me give you a little example on promoting yourself. Let's say that you decide that you want to create a show just like this, right? This is something that I haven't shared outside of my marketing group. So let's say you have $0 to market yourself, but you do have a good personality. What's up, Bobby Bryant? Thanks for coming on and commenting. Let's say you have $0 to market yourself. I'm going to show you how I can get you $800 a month that you can use to promote yourself. You ready? Hang on, get your pencil. I'm going to give you a second to get a pen and piece of paper, or you can just come back and watch this. And this is all I want you to do. If after I'm done telling you this little tidbit that's going to help you, that you just share it and give me a little comment in there. It's like that was awesome, or that helped me, so that I know, right? So a lot of people, when they come into business, especially in real estate, I like the real estate because that's where most of the people that I know are in. They're going to spend at least 6 months building their reputation. They just got in the business. Maybe they don't have any friends or family where they live. They don't have anybody, so they got to beat the streets, do some windshield time and all that, and find somebody. And even if they found somebody the day that they got out, they at least have 30 to 45 days before you ever even make any money. So money is a big issue unless you had saved money, or if you have a husband or a wife that supports you while you're doing it. But most people don't, right? So you want to listen up. This is how you can get $800. I'm just using $800. You can get more. You can get a little less, but I'm going to tell you how to do it at $800. So here we go. You need a show. Yes, you need a show like this show right here, right? So once you have a show, I'm just going to use this since we're on the real estate thing. Let's say you decide you want to do a show and you're a real estate agent, and you're going to use the show to, number one, do what? The number one reason why most people fail is because they don't promote themselves, and you're going to do a show because you want everybody to know you. If you ever see Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Patrick Bet-David, if you knew any one of those three names, the reason that you know them is because they know how to market themselves. Because Patrick Bet-David lives in Dallas. If you don't live in Dallas, how do you know him? Grant Cardone lives in Miami. If you don't live in Miami, how do you know him? And Gary Vaynerchuk lives in New York. And if you don't live in New York City, how do you know him? Because he promotes himself. That's why. So I'm going to tell you, let's say, for example, you get a show just like this show right here, and you decide that you're going to do your show where you interview people like myself. You're going to call and get people like Randall to come on, and they're going to be the entertainment, and they're going to help your end user, whatever it is, whoever those people. I don't mean by myself as my profession, like someone who can be entertaining, right? So you decide you're going to start a show like this, right? You follow me? So stick with me. Now you go out and you decide, my show is going to revolve around 4 main topics. Number 1, alternative pest control treatments. And you're going to go out with and find an alternative pest control person that can provide you with interesting content once a month. And you're going to have them come on the show. Say, for example, they're going to come on your show and they're going to show and bring some, maybe they bring some props or something for the show, or talk about it, and maybe give a printout sheet that you can give to your viewers on plants that you can plant around the outside of your house that keeps bugs, mosquitoes, roaches, or whatever. Because I know there's plants that do that. I know one of them is mint. Mint, for some reason, some particular bugs don't like mint, right? So this person is going to come on your show and they're going to be one of your monthly guests, and once a month, right? So here's where it starts. You go and you find this person. You tell them, look, I'm going to put together a show. It's going to be a Facebook Live show, and I'm going to create weekly shows and content. I want one of the weekly shows to be revolving around your business, right? Now, this is important, so listen up. When you're talking to this person, ask this person, if you don't know them, how much do they think it would cost them to create a promotional video for them? A video that doesn't sell their service, but makes it to where people see them as a authority in whatever that field of pest control or this one is, right? And if they were to make this, and it was 3 questions that were going to be asked in this film, and they were going to get it, and then they were going to use that video to put out into the universe to promote themselves. On average, what do they think that would cost? Would it be fair to guess that it would cost maybe $500? That would be a fair assessment, don't you think? If a camera crew came out to your location, filmed you, did a couple of editings, and they had somebody come along and they interviewed you and they asked you 3 questions, the questions that you want them to ask you, and you're able to be effective in asking them, that $500 would be a fair amount to say that was how much it costed. They're going to say yes. So you tell them, I tell you what, I can deliver to you the exact same thing, but more, if you would be willing to be a sponsor for the show, and it's $200, right? So you need to follow me on this. We're working on getting $200 from someone to sponsor your show, that's going to be on your show to help you give amazing content to your guests. So we're talking about one person. He goes to it and he goes, you know what? That's a great deal, because what do you think you're going to do? You're going to have him come on the show. You're going to ask him the questions, that the same ones that he was going to have a camera crew. It's going to be more organic, which means people are going to associate with it better, because it's not in a salesy way. They're just interviewing them, right? And he says, I'll take that, because you're going to tell them also what you're going to get. So you're going to get that 1 week show that I'm going to film you. I'm going to do all the hard work. All you have to do is do what you do on the show. I'm going to provide all the equipment, the lighting. All you need to do is that, right? And then he now once a month, she's going to have a 30-minute video that they can use to promote themselves. They can take that video, chop it up into key little parts. Maybe there's 3 little sections. That makes 3 separate videos that they can put out amongst them, put them on their website, put them on their social media, tout that, hey, I'm on this show now, a weekly show, so come catch me at the show. So they're going to get that video. Remember, we agreed $500 was a fair amount. Now they're getting that same video that is more authentic for only $200, and the other 3 weekly shows, you're going to mention them as one of the show sponsors, and they will get the benefit of that as well. You see where we're going with this? So you take that same premise and you go and you find 3 other people. Maybe you find somebody who's a chef who would be willing to do that. I mean, let me tell you something. $200 a month is nothing. It's nothing. If you think about how much money, or what could be your return on if you got just one client every week from doing that show, $200. If you don't have $200 to promote your business, go sell some stuff that's in your house and get it. I mean, come on, you understand that you need to promote your business. If you have no money, figure that out, right? So I've already now got you $200 from a person who finds it highly valuable, and they're going to help you provide content. And you go, and now you've got your pest control. Maybe you get an interior decorator, a fitness person, and the chef. You got 4 people. Each one of those people, you give that same speech, and each one of them give you $200, and that's your $800. I just now got you $800 for your marketing budget. And now you can do what you know you're supposed to do. You need to promote yourself, right? So now you have this $800, and here's what you're going to do with that $800. You're going to buy traffic to your show. If your show it has a specific audience, which it should, you should know who they are. Then you just go to Google AdWords. You're going to run. You can run on YouTube, Facebook, ad. You can run an ad targeting those people to see your show for pennies. I think if you target the right people, 10-second video views anywhere from a penny to 10 cents is high, but and average, you're talking about anywhere from a penny to 5 cents. So let's say if that's the case, let's say it's a penny, 100 people for every dollar you spend for every $100. So you're getting 8,000 views of your video off of $800 from your sponsors, right? And you do that consistently for 3 months. They're on there doing that. You're doing that same thing. You're getting 8,000. What's going to happen is you're going to get more viewers because that's the ones you paid for. Now you're going to get people who view it who are organically coming to you. Now, 3 months later, you go to those same people who are just loving it. They're getting business. They are satisfied because you helped them solve a problem in promoting their business. And now you tell them, look, we're getting 10,000 views of our show, a week or a month. Let's say it's a month, even 10,000. I'm going to have to up it a little bit to 400. Let's just say you double it. Still, 400 is still a good deal. Remember, you're still under the 500 that they would have had to pay. And they're getting a new video every month because they're doing it once a week. And guess what you do with now you have $1,600 because each one of them is giving you 400 and there's 4 of them, $1,600 a month. And you do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Now you go buy $1,600 worth of traffic. And now you get 25, 30,000 views. And eventually you're going to get to a number where it either works for those people or it doesn't work for those people. But now you have promoted yourself so well that there are people coming to you now saying, hey, I want to sponsor that show. And let's say you have, 50,000 views of your show or 25,000 views of your show. And someone says, I'll give you $750 a month for that. And you get 4 people to give you $750 a month. That's 3 G's, right? And let's say you say, well, I'm going to use all 3,000 of that to continue to market. You see how this stuff, you can just continually grow that 3,000 to 6 and 12 and 24 and dump it all back into your market. Or at some point, you can decide, I want to peel off a little bit for myself. You see how that worked? I just got you money to promote your business and help you solve a problem. Now, you can either decide that works for you or doesn't work for you. If you have $0 and 0 cents to market your business and your only source of marketing your business is that you physically go and network or you cold call, not that those don't work, those are not scalable and those take a lot of time, right? Why not just do what I just said, get $800 and reach thousands of people, and you could still do that other stuff, right? Hopefully that was useful to you. Again, if you're watching this live, push 1, just type 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, press 2. I hope that that little tidbit that I just shared with you, and it doesn't matter what business you're in, you can convince someone, even a friend, to support your business if they can find, if you can show them that how it's going to benefit them, right? And I think having the ability to hey, thanks for tuning in, Faith. If you missed it, you could just watch the replay. I would just went over how you can, if you had $0 for your marketing, how you can get $800 to grow your business from having a show. Again, I want to say thank you to our sponsor at youneedashow.com. If that was something after I told you that, if you think that having a show is something that would solve your problem, growing your business, or just growing your personal brand. I mean, look at these people who have grown their personal brand. Let's say you're in a business. Let me put it to you this way, because today when I spoke at an event, and one lady, it was like a light bulb for her. I said, what if you did what I just told you? Because that's what I told her. I said, that's what I recommend you do. If you have no money, you need to market yourself, and you need money to do that. So here's how you do it. And I explained just what I told you, how you break it down. If you're just coming on, you'll have to rewatch it. It's definitely valuable for you to go watch it. And I said, what would you do if you grew it so big that you were making $20,000 a month? Would you still want to do real estate? She goes, no. I'm like, okay, then you have that ability to do. There's a 7-year-old who made $22 million opening toys. Ryan's Toys Review. Go look at it. Karina Garcia makes slime. 6 figures a month making slime. I know how to make slime. I'm not, but she is entertaining. PewDiePie playing video games, collectively made almost $200 million in 10 years. Video himself in the series of playing video games on YouTube. He's almost at 100 million YouTube subscribers. Do you realize how many people that is? There's no actor on the planet. Nobody. The only person that comes close to him is a Chinese actor, the guy that was in Crouching Tiger. He's the most famous person in the world because China. He's the most famous person in China, and China has way more people than we do. And then, of course, over here we know him. But 100 million. He gets 100 million views of his video. I mean, that's insane. And so can you. You can't get it if you don't have a show or you're not promoting yourself. Listen, you do not have to have a show. You do not have to have a podcast. I'm just suggesting if you want to promote your business, it has been democratized for anyone. If you don't know what that means, democratization just means that everybody can now do it. Everyone can have a radio show, podcast. Everyone could have their own show. You could have your own view, ladies. If you like sitting around gossiping, just put a camera and make it funny. You could have your own Desperate Housewives of your neighborhood or whatever it is, right? You could do that. You could do that. And because there are people doing it every day. So again, you can go over to youneedashow.com if you need some a little help there. I have created a show starter kit over there that you can download. I advise that you just go ahead and purchase the whole thing. It's not even that much, because if you do what I just told you, that $800, you can just use the $800 to pay the $150 it is. I mean, it's $150. Are you serious? If $150 sounds like a lot to you, you probably need to go get a job, because that is not a lot of money to help you grow your business. Because what if what I just told you, would you trade $150 to go out and be able to make $800? Just like I just told you, like walk it through. Yes. I mean, you got a return on your money. So always, I think that everybody took the time to come on. For the people that commented, thank you, Danny, Faith, Bobby, everyone who came on and took the time to watch it. Hey, people who are watching this on the replay, or if you listen to it on my podcast, hey, don't be shy. Shoot on over to Think Like a Marketer Show on Facebook. Hey, let me put a face to you on the page. If you want to be a guest on the show, shoot me a message over there on that page. We'll see if it's a good fit, and we'll have a lot of fun. And again, thank you for giving me your time, and tune in next week for the Think Like a Marketer Show.